one of my favorite, let me finish this thought and then get you to fully comment. I always joke, I used to defend the Electoral College. And I remember trying to explain it to international reporters once. And then you're just like, you know what? It's not one person, one vote. And the minute you get lost in one person, one vote. But I've had a lot of friends who've participated in IRI or NDI, right, which is the international arms of the Republican and Democratic Party. And actually, it's a tremendous nonprofit that it's one of the few things the two parties do together that's great. They observe elections overseas. The idea was it's spreading democracy, help fledgling democracy set up, how to run a political convention, how to run a caucus, things like this. And one of the things I've always noticed is that whenever we're proposing a system on a country that wants to start a democracy, we always recommend multi-member districts.
Yeah.
But we don't do it in our own country. Yeah. We realize, well, you got to give every tribe a seat at the table, or or this democracy will never get off the ground. That's basically the thinking.
Yeah.
And I've never understood why multi-member districts are not appealing, particularly in the South.
Yeah, well, it depends on whether you tie it to ranked choice voting. So you don't tie it to ranked choice voting. The reason why the Voting Rights Act was deployed against multi-member districts is that it was a way to basically exclude minority representation. But if you tie it to ranked choice voting, when I ran, that was one of the planks. It was the support for the Fair Representation Act, which basically says you create multi-member congressional districts and ranked choice voting within those districts so that you can become a congressman within a district, but not, by appealing to, 30% of the vote. And 30% of the vote would be enough if people allocate their electoral vote in the right way. And that assures that the full diversity of people within a district are going to be represented. And it also removes the concern about gerrymandering, because now the district lines don't matter as much if you've got the multi-member opportunity with ranked choice voting. I totally support that in the context of the House. And we could do that by statute. There's nothing that would stop Congress from doing that.
Well, I'll tell you this. My friend Lindsay Chervinsky, she's got a more radical idea for the Senate. She actually thinks that maybe, these states that the top 4 states ought to have 5 senators, then the next sort of population 4, 3, that there should be some advantage now given that the Senate is just that Wyoming and California shouldn't have the same size representation.
Yeah. Well, she and James Madison, and Alexander.
Well, that's what she brought up. She's like, this was an idea thrown around at the time.
Yeah. Right. The big block we've got to that is that Article 5 expressly says you can't deny equal representation in the Senate without consent. So you could imagine a system where we buy off the small states. We say, we'll give you $100 billion if you'll just allow us to have a Senate that's actually proportional. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.